Welcome to Daily Success. Listen in on these personal conversations with today's leaders, innovators, and influencers as they discuss daily success principles, systems, and solutions. Get ready for Daily Success. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Eddy Rodriguez. I want to tell you a little bit about Eddy. He has been on a big mission to share 10 million smiles around the world, and he is the author of the book 10 Million Smiles from Florida to New York. And if you think about it, he has been on this miraculous adventure based on smile. So today's Daily Success word of the day is smile. Let me just tell you a little bit more about Eddy. Eddy Rodriguez helps people to find the gift of life's most challenging moments. He's lived through the death of his oldest child, along with a cerebral hemorrhage just 4 months later. He's also currently fighting cancer, but through it all, guess what he's found the power of? The power of one simple thing: smile. So, Eddy, as today's guest and someone who really knows about daily success and the word smile, what is your definition?
Well, my definition of the smile is something that comes from within, something that is very, very powerful in all of our lives, something that we use in order to propel ourselves forward, that we use when we laugh, we use when we play, we use when we're happy. And there are so many different things that can be done with the smile, but I would have to boil it down to the smile is an expression of the heart.
An expression of the heart. So tell me a little bit more about the process that you went through to come to this realization that the power of the smile is what it is, because obviously your life hasn't just been one bowl of roses. So tell me a little bit more about this journey you've been on.
Well, like for a lot of us, we have to have challenges in our life in order to bring us to the next level, for us to understand and learn things. And you mentioned that 2006, I actually had three major things that happened in my life, but I'm only going to talk about two of them. Okay. One was the passing of my oldest daughter. She was in Korea with her husband, and we were on a moped. They got into an accident. She hit her head. She had a hemorrhage, and she also had some other damage. She had lupus, so she had no immune system to fight. She did fight for 45 days in the hospital, and then she passed away. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to me in my life. 4 months after she passed away, I had a cerebral hemorrhage. I had 3 veins that burst in the back of my brain, filled my brain with blood, and they told my wife at the time, call the family, he's dead tonight. Well, I could not have 2 deaths in my family in 4 months. I had to find a way to live. So that gave me a drive to live. But I also, on the flip side, was depressed. I lost my smile. I lost my happiness. I lost my joy. There wasn't much there for me to smile about, or so I thought. And about a year later, I was getting a brain scan at VA hospital, and my wife at the time asked me a question. She said, "What do you want for your birthday?" Which is a very simple question for most people. But I could not think of anything monetary. I could not think of anything that I wanted that was a physical thing. What I wanted was for people to get along for one day. Just one day. So what I did was I said, okay, I want to go out there and help people to smile and to be happier in their lives. At the same time, I knew I couldn't get everybody. I decided that I would get as many people as I could to smile. and to be happy, even if it's just for a moment, 30 seconds, okay, a minute, 5 minutes, an hour, a day, I would do the best that I can to bring the smile and to bring happiness to people. And also on the flip side of that, that's what helped me to become happy. Because how do you go out and help people to smile if you can't smile yourself? You can't do it. How can you help people to be happier if you're not happier yourself? Another thing that you cannot do. So you go out and you do the best that you can, no matter what it is. And if you want to become something and if you want to help people, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. And that's what I did. I plastered on a smile. I went out and pretended I was happy because that's what I wanted to be. I was going towards my goal. And I wanted other people to smile and other people to be happy. And so I promised myself that I was going to share my smile with 10 million people in my lifetime. I know I will get it.
So with the power of the internet, how many people do you think you've already shared that smile with?
With the TV shows, when I did my walk, we'll talk about that in a bit, and things like that, I have gotten a lot of exposure. I imagine I'm probably halfway to my goal, if not more. Okay, it's funny because I was keeping account on my computer of people that were going to my website, and it got up to like 37,000, and then I just kind of went, you know what? I don't need to count. It doesn't matter because when I hit 10 million, I'm only going to go beyond that anyway because I'm an overachiever. I set a goal for 10 million. I want to hit 30, 40, 50, 100 million, as many as I can possibly get. Because when you set a goal and you reach it, what do?
Set a bigger goal.
Another goal.
Well, I find that really interesting because you're right. Because the truth is, every time you smile at someone and they smile back, you could never really count the power of that because it's kind of like a pay it forward situation.
Uh-huh.
So you really, I bet you've already reached your goal anyway, because if you just look at that viral effect of the smile,
Right.
I know that every time I talk to you, I smile, and then I go out into the world and I smile at people, and I know I treat people in a nicer way. And that brings me to your story about traveling from Florida to New York. What possessed you, number one, to do that? And how did that go for you? I know you wrote a book about it, but what was the magic of that adventure?
The funny thing is that things show up in ways that you never expect. I had wanted to do a video in Washington, D.C. Now, I would like for you all to get tight in your chair because you're going to laugh at this one. You're going to laugh at me, I hope. I thought happiness should come from Washington, D.C. because it's our nation's capital. So I wanted to do a video in Washington, D.C. that said, "Smile and wave, America, we love you." So about 3 months from the time that my van got stolen is when I was going to do my drive to Washington, D.C. But when I walked outside my door one day, and like I said, it's about 3 months before I had planned on doing this, my van was gone. And it was like, where's my van? Does my roommate have it? No, he's out of town, so he can't have it. So the only thing that I thought was, I cannot let anything stop me from doing this video in Washington, D.C. I didn't go to replace the van, insurance, call the cops, none of that. It took me about 15 minutes to decide that I was going to walk. Then I called a friend and told them I was going to start walking the next morning. They said, "You're nuts." I said, "Yes, I am. Thank you very much." And so they delayed me for about 3 weeks. Them, and some other people delayed me about 3 weeks to go out on the walk. The magical thing about the walk was I had no plan. I didn't know where I was going to sleep. I didn't know where I was going to eat. I didn't know when I was going to walk. I did not know anything. The only thing I knew is that I was walking to Washington, D.C. to do a video that says, "Smile and wave, America, we love you." And I wound up in New York. Magical.
So tell me about some of the adventures and the people you met along the way, and how some of those things were answered. For example, if you didn't have a plan for where you were going to sleep, where did you sleep? What about eating? Um, what happened on this trip? I mean, Florida to New York walking, how long did that take?
It took 277 days. Magical, magical days. And, the funny thing is that when you go without a plan and you allow things to happen, you're not disappointed because you don't have a plan as to where anything's going to go. And also you allow whatever's supposed to come in to come in. I went on instinct. Now, as far as sleeping and eating and things like that, the funny thing is that I had a lot of hotels that sponsored me along the way. And people always ask me, they said, how did you get a hotel to sponsor you along the way? Well, it's simple. I went in and I told them the truth and nothing more than the truth. I didn't try and make it pretty for them. I didn't try to expand it. I just told them, listen, I'm on a journey. I'm walking for happiness awareness to Washington, D.C. And then when I started doing it from Washington, D.C. to New York, I said, I'm walking to New York. And I said, I'm walking for happiness awareness to allow people to understand that no matter what's going on in your life, you can be happy, you can smile, and be joyful in your life. And they loved what they heard. And some of them opened their doors. I got a lot of no's. But every no that I got, I knew would lead to my yes. And sometimes I would have to call the same hotels back again when they already said no for them to say yes. So, and eating, same thing. I would go in and I would talk to them, and let them know what I'm doing. And they'd say, have a seat anywhere that you want. There was only one place that had me sit outside. And all the other places were like, you sit where you want to sit. You order anything you want off the menu. Okay? And the thing is that they sponsored me, so that meant it came free. But the person that was serving me, they need to make money because that's what they do for a living. And so what I did was I put 20% to everybody that served me. And how do you do that on $200? Start with $200, end with $200. That's the magic. It's not about me and what I did. It's about the way that the universe, God, whatever name you want to put to a Buddha, it's about what that brought along the walk and how it showed up. All I had to do was be the conduit. That was it. So, and there's a lot of magic in that. When you go out and you do things for people and you don't expect anything in return, don't have any expectations about getting anything back from that person, so many places are going to show up and give you the blessings. And it was a fantastic thing. I've got a lot of stories about the people, the places, so in the book, 10 Million Smiles from Florida to New York, if you type it into Google, put from FLNY, because for some reason Florida to New York hasn't taken me there yet, although it's one of my taglines.
So can you share a story about somebody who really resonated with you on this trip you took?
Yes. There was a guy, and it was early in the trip, and this is what kind of set the tone for me. It was in West Palm Beach, and I'm walking through a pretty bad part of town. And I have a guy, I'm walking fast, I'm walking with a purpose. And so I have a guy that came running up from behind me, okay? And he looks at me and he says, "Sir, can I buy a box of crackers from you for $1?" At that time, I was pushing a stroller with 2 duffel bags in it. That was my clothes and all my equipment and stuff. And it was funny. And so I looked at him, and he's quite a bit taller than I am, and he's kind of a big guy. You could tell he was tough. He was from the streets, He had one eye that had been burst. And I looked at him and I said, "No, you cannot buy a box of crackers from me for $1, but I'll give it to you." And the guy flush. And he said, what? I said, no, here's the box of crackers. And I gave him the box of crackers. He was so excited. He called over his girlfriend and, he introduced me to her and he says, listen, what are you doing? I told him what I was doing, to walk. He said, can I walk with you? He walked about 15 blocks with me. And, he's telling me the story about what happened to him to get to where he was at, where he was homeless and things. He had killed a guy. Now, it was a self-defense thing. The guy had shot at him. He showed me a scar, and the guy told him, next time I see you, I'm going to kill you. So what he did was he went out and got a gun himself. People in the streets with a gun, not a good idea. But he ended up killing the guy. He went to the police station. He put the gun on the counter, and they arrested him immediately. They put him on trial. He went to jail for 8 years. Now, when we were done, when he finished telling me the story and we were done, he stopped me. He grabbed my arm lightly, just to stop me. Okay, grabbed my arm, and he said, I want to share something with you. And I said, go ahead. And you can see this on my YouTube channel. Okay. I said, go ahead. And you can see it on my website. Anyway, he said, I have run into all kinds of people in my life, murderers, rapists, you name it, the worst people in the world. Okay, I have lived with them. And he said, nobody has ever given me anything without asking for something back, and nobody has ever listened to me without judgment. And he says, I know that this is only a box of crackers, but it means so much more to me than a box of crackers. He said, when I go out on the street, it's tit for tat. Somebody does something to you, you need to retaliate. And he said, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. He said, I don't want to retaliate. I just want to keep living my life. And he gave me the biggest smile. And the time when I was doing the video, he was crying. Okay, so that to me really touched me and set the tone for the rest of the walk. It was amazing.
Wow. That is amazing and very powerful, because I think just in that story alone, when, you gave something without an expectation of getting anything back, you listened to him without judgment. Those are very powerful things that most of us, it doesn't matter if we've never murdered anyone or not, but we're always so terrified of being judged for anything we do. And then you're right. How many of us just give with no expectation of getting anything back? Those are two extremely powerful things.
Yeah, that is magic. It really is magic in people's lives, because one of the things that I found, one of the common threads that I found with everybody is, number one, they want to be seen. Number two, they want to be heard. And number three, they want to be understood. So if you can just give people the time to actually say what they want to say, and you listen to them and you don't judge them for the things that have happened in the past or the things that are happening now, you just accept them for who they are. It is super powerful, not only for them, but for you as well. Because it opens up doors that you would never know. It opens up that smile, that happiness, that joy. And that smile, I got to tell you, it's the most powerful gift that you were ever given, and you were given it at birth. And I love it. I've learned about it. I've understood it. And my job in life, what it is that I'm passionate about, is showing people how to take that smile and open doors that they could never open before. To open pathways in their own life that they've never been able to open before. And to see life in a brand new way. To see it from the heart and from the smile.
Wow. So you've had quite a bit of adversity in your life, and right now you're actually fighting cancer, but a lot of good things are happening at the same time. You speak a lot, you do a lot of things. Can you tell me kind of like what's going on in the world of Eddy Smile Rodriguez right now?
Life is such an amazing ride, and And I know that, when people find out I have cancer, they're like, oh my God, oh, I'm so sorry, and things like this. And I say, listen, don't be sorry, be happy for me, because I am learning so much through this whole process. Cancer helped me to beat diabetes. Cancer helped me to lose weight. Okay, and it was a choice to lose weight. I didn't lose weight because of the cancer. Cancer helped me to get healthier. I feel better today than I did a year, 2 years, 3 years before I was diagnosed. So my energy levels have gone up. Everything has expanded, and there are so many opportunities that are now coming my way, all because of the fact that I don't look at these things as challenges or as, things that really will knock me down. I look at them as gifts, and some of the most beautiful gifts are in the ugliest packages. Now, another thing that I'm dealing with right at this moment as we speak, I've got a pinched nerve in the back of my neck. And it's, because I have some issues going on here, and I got a nerve that got pinched. And so it's very painful. But even that has been a gift, because it has taught me how to keep myself even calmer than I normally am, which I'm normally, everybody's like, Eddy, I can't believe how calm you are when situations happen, and it's like, hey, okay, because I know that in the end, whatever it is that happens is going to bring something great back. No matter where it comes from, I'm going to learn a lesson through all of this, and it's going to grow my life, it's going to expand my life, and it's going to help expand the lives of others, because when I learn, I show and I teach, because I can't keep these things to myself. My job is to spread whatever I can to help make a difference in other people's lives.
Well, I do know that you've done a really good job of helping a lot of people. Again, it's such a simple concept of the smile. And even though things happen to us that a lot of people, think about it. If you're diagnosed with cancer, that brings up a lot of things that you have to deal with. But
Yeah.
yet, like you said, you're using it as an opportunity to help a lot more people, because you have been out there speaking and doing things. You told me earlier that you're actually working on a movie or a video project. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Actually, right now I'm working with a producer, and we're working on a TV show. And I can't say a lot about it because right now it's in production. Okay, so, but thank you for asking about that. It's a TV show that's going to be uplifting for people. And it's going to show examples of people who have taken, like, things that would bring you down, things that would really be challenges, and showing how they use that in order to bring themselves up and go beyond the smile, because I have a thing that I call beyond the smile, because the smile is fantastic. We all use it. We all love it. We all, have fun with it. Okay. But there's something beyond the smile. And if you learn about how to use your smile, okay, and I say use your smile for your life, to help other people in their lives, and to expand everything, then your life will definitely change, and it'll morph into something more powerful than you ever thought it could be. And I call it beyond the smile, getting into happiness and action. Because the smile, everybody knows what it is, but do they really know how it can enhance their lives and what it can do for the inside of yourself and the inside of other people? How does a smile affect the people around you, the world around you, the heart? And how does happiness in action? Happiness in action is basically when you get to that point where you're always happy. And trust me, there's times when you're sad. I get sad just like everybody else. I get challenged just like everybody else. All the emotions that everybody else goes through, I go through them myself. The only thing is that I can bring myself out of the negative emotion very, very quickly. And it doesn't last long, and it doesn't stick. That's the key. And that's happiness in action, is taking that time, turn things around, putting things into action while you're happy, while you're joyful, while you have that smile on your face, and making your world more powerful.
So besides speaking and sharing that, do you work with people? Do you coach people? do you have any ways that people can connect with you so that you can teach them some of your techniques?
Absolutely, I do. I do a lot of coaching. I don't advertise it a lot, which maybe I should. I don't know. But for me, it's not about, making people aware that I'm a coach. It's about making people aware of themselves. And so what I do, everybody says, well, how do you coach? How do you do this? Well, there's no set model because everybody's different. Everybody's different. If you have a set model for coaching, it can work for many, many people. But the thing is that you have to go and you have to dig deep into what is the things that are keeping you stuck. You can know, okay, fear keeps you stuck, right? And everybody says fear is false emotions appearing real, okay? Or false expectations appearing real, I'm sorry. I came up with a new definition for me, okay? And it's false emotions altering reality. That's what fear really is. It alters your reality. But what is it that is altering your reality? That's where I come in and I help people to dig down deep and find that aspect of it. And then when you find that aspect of it, there's going to be actions to take in order to clear that and also get into real, happiness and action, doing things that are really going to move you forward. And you can do things that are going to move you forward, but they're not going to get you as far as if you really get into the happiness, get into the joy, and do things through the smile and through your happiness and through the actions that you take. Because if you're taking action and you're sad or upset or something, that's a vibration that goes out into the world. We want you to have a vibration that is really going to move people. As soon as you walk in and they see you, they smile.
Yeah, I know for a fact, every time I see you, I don't see you very often in person.
Right.
But for example, there was a memory that popped up on Facebook the other day. We both were at the Essence of Being.
I love Essence.
Photograph, and I happened to be standing next to you, and we're all smiling in this group. Every time I see that photograph, it brings back that wonderful moment in time when we were at Essence of Being in this group, and we were all smiling, and it was such a beautiful photograph of all these people who all had just had pretty massive breakthroughs.
Yeah.
One of my
That's the magic.
favorite photographs. And yes, I see that. It's very amazing because you were talking about how your diagnosis of cancer actually has helped you. Did you say that your diabetes is under control now because you lost weight and improved your diet?
Yes, absolutely. It dropped actually about 150 points. So I was at, what were the numbers? I was between 250 and 275 average, taking metformin, glyburite, and insulin. I was taking 3 different medications for cancer. For diabetes, and I was still way up there. Normal is 120, or I think they changed it to 100 now. I went from that to not having to take any meds. Okay, I still take the metformin because it's got cancer-fighting properties. I don't have to take it. Okay, and my sugar average now is anywhere between 100 to 110. So it helped a ton.
Yeah, that is amazing.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You do look a lot different just because, like I said, you've lost weight. And so it is amazing how different we do look. So it's so amazing to me how smile, when just the act of, using these special muscles here can make such life-changing things. And I'm glad that you said that you do work with people and help them to do, happiness in action.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important. And you also speak to clubs and organizations and groups and businesses. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the topics that you do? Are they short talks? Are they long? Are they workshops? What exactly does that look like?
Well, here's the funny thing is it's different all the time because it depends on the group. Now, I've had groups where I've gone to and they slotted, an hour for me to talk. Usually that's what I speak is about an hour, but I've spoken for 10 minutes, half an hour, things like that. But there's a couple of different ones that it's kind of funny because say, okay, Eddie, you have an hour, right? And their meeting is like 2 hours long. And so we're going to do the introductions and things like this, and then you're going to speak, and then we're going to do the rest of our stuff. Okay, and it's turned out Heart Space. I went over there one time, and they said, you have an hour, Eddie. And so I started talking and things like that, and I was getting ready to wrap it up, and I asked, I said, how much time do I have left? And they said, keep talking. And I was like, okay, So a little bit later, I said, how long do I have left? Keep talking. I ended up talking for 2.5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Because, they didn't want me to stop, and it was like, I knew that, some people had to go home and things like this. And I was like, listen, I've gone so far over. I said, I know that, some of you have to go home, and so we're like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to set you up again to speak, but we're going to give you longer. So, and this has happened several times, but usually I do workshops, like 4-hour workshops about, first I explain what the smile is, okay, how to use a smile in your life, things that you can obtain in your life through happiness and joy and spreading your smile with other people and doing the happiness in action. And then final results. I want to start tracking people on how it is that they have changed their lives and the things that have happened to them since we have had our discussions, our talks, or the workshops, and things like that. So, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, and things that are happening now, and I really enjoy it. So that's why when they say, Eddie, keep talking, I do.
And keep smiling. So how can people get more information about you?
Well, you can call me if you'd like, okay, 561-506-4607. I'll repeat that, 561-506-4607. Now, I ask you, if you call me, don't ask for Edward, ask for Eddie. Because if you've seen me or if we've talked, you became my friend. Edward is very formal. I'm not a formal guy. So just call me Eddie. Hey, Eddie, how you doing? Have a big smile on your face. And then you can go to my website, which is www.smileandwaveproject.com.
So it's a smile and wave project.com?
Yeah. The smile. Oh, I got that one wrong, didn't I? The smile and waveproject.com.
Okay, perfect. Smileandwaveproject.com. So, Eddie, thank you so much for sharing your definition of the daily success word of the day, smile. I really enjoyed it, and I know the listeners have really gotten a cool perspective on just looking at things from a different point of view, despite, everybody has challenges.
Yes.
But at the same time, we all have that capacity to have love and joy and happiness in action. And I love the way that you describe how to turn the smile into happiness in action. And then your stories of actually living in that space and creating magic in your life just by being happiness in action. That's so cool.
Yeah, you live it. And I really want to thank you for being on the show. I love you. I love everything that you do. I'm so proud and honored to be your friend. It's been an amazing ride since I've gotten to know you on just, how genuine you are. I love that. I love the way that you take yourself and you put it out there and you help to bring other people to new spaces, new places, and to help them grow in their own lives. And, I know your heart, and it's a beautiful, beautiful heart. So I really, really thank you. Yeah. And I want to say thank you, everybody that's listened to this. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. If you want to talk to me, feel free to call. Feel free, my email and everything is on my website. You can connect with me through there, and I would just love to talk to you, see where you are, and see how I can be of service to you, because that's what it's all about being of service to others.
Wow. On that note, everyone, this is Tammy Patzer, and this is Daily Success Word of the Day. And today's word with Eddy Rodriguez has been smile. Go make it a beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Daily Success. Tune in again and subscribe. Never miss a moment of daily success.